Greetings, Orphanites, and welcome once again to our filmmaking vlog here on the orphanmovie.com. For those of you who know what was going on Friday night, you already know what the topic's going to be. For those of you who don't, I'll let you in on that in a second. You should have been watching us on Instagram Friday night. I actually did a live feed from where I was at. You may remember a few months ago that I did a paranormal investigation in Thurber, Texas, and I said at that time if I did another one, I would want it to be indoors. Well, last week I had that opportunity, and a few things led me to decide to do it. One was that it was actually an indoor investigation. Another is that it was a location that's purported to have a good deal of paranormal activity. And lastly, it was in Mineral Wells, Texas, which is somewhat near and dear to me because that's where I was born. I don't have a lot of memories of Mineral Wells because we moved when I was quite young, and I'd never heard stories of this place, but where I went was called Haunted Hill House. It's about 2 blocks actually from the Baker Hotel, which is the very obvious famous landmark in Mineral Wells. But the Baker, of course, has its own history, its own stories. You can look that up online if you want to see it, or if you want to try and catch the episode of Ghost Adventures where they actually went into the hotel and did an investigation. People aren't allowed in it anymore. They used to allow people to go in to do investigations, but there's always people that have to spoil the fun for everyone, and there was people that were doing vandalism and that kind of thing. Anyways, the Baker wasn't the focus. We did do a walking tour of downtown, several spots in Mineral Wells that have paranormal activity reported, and the Baker was one of them. But the focus of the investigation was Haunted Hill House, and the reason that it's referred to as Haunted Hill House is it has reported by several paranormal investigations and teams that there are at least 9 entities that inhabit the house at any given time. So there's lots of activity that goes on there. There was opportunity for lots of things to happen. I went into it not really knowing what to expect. As I've said before, I'm really a skeptic when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I went into it being a skeptic still, but open to the possibilities. I mean, I didn't know, am I going to see an apparition, a shadow man? Am I going to get touched or, shirt tugged on or anything like that? So I really went in not knowing what to expect. Whenever we first got there, at the house, we got a little bit of an orientation. We went inside the house for a little bit and got just a quick little tour, and then we were brought back outside, and everybody was allowed to get their gear and all of that sort of thing. Whenever we were in the house, I actually used the same app I had used previously when I was in Thurber, and this time around I actually did a screen capture of the words that came up on the app because it was going crazy for the longest time. And one of the stories that was being told whenever we were in there was about I can't remember who it was, but it was a story of one of the male entities that's supposed to be in the house. And at the time, I got the phrase "please out," which I'm guessing is "please get out." Which, if they said please, I mean, at least they were being nice about it. But I had all kinds of things. I had several names that came up. The name Robert came up. As it turns out, one of the people with Haunted Texas Paranormal, which is who I went there with, is named Robert. He wasn't in the room at the time, but he showed up a couple of minutes after that came up. But we went back out, and went around the outside of the house. We went to a window of a boarded up bathroom. There's a small bathroom there that being closed up. They eventually found where it was and figured out it was there. And it seems one of the previous occupants of the house had used that to put their kids in to punish them. And there at some point in time had been some kind of satanic activity that had taken place in the house, and supposedly that bathroom was one of the locations where things were done. And the kids are grown now, but they have stories apparently of things that happened to them, things they saw when they were being locked up in there. We went around the house, and one side there's a tree trunk that has the name Jacob carved into it and a cross, and that some point in the past there was a boy named Jacob who had things done to him by one of the male entities there when he was alive, and it's things that I just would rather not go into, but it ended up with this guy hanging Jacob from this tree, and he slowly died there, and supposedly his spirit's still around this tree. We were going around the house, and I was looking at my phone, and I got the word catch right before they told us a story about a workman in the 50s that was working on the chimney and fell from the roof and broke his neck whenever he hit. So, maybe the guy was saying catch me, or I don't know. Anyways, there was lots of stories like that, and once we actually got into the house to start investigating, like I said, my phone was really going crazy with things. Unfortunately, I was going to try and do another live feed later, and I was trying to do some other things with it, but my battery was low. I'd worked all day, and it didn't charge that much on the way there. But through the night, I was taking pictures, and I was using the app, like I said, to capture words when I could. One of the things that I got was when we were in the living room, there was a small closet there, and they say that there is I don't know if it's an entity, there's something about that closet. I didn't catch exactly what it was, but supposedly people have experienced something in that closet. When they were talking about that, I actually got the word specter come up on my phone. So I'm, I don't know. But we're starting to run a little bit long, so we're probably going to have to break this into two parts. I thought that might happen. Last time, lots of ground to cover, lots of things to talk about it. The other part of this will be posted sometime after this. I don't know if it's going to be within a few days or the next week. It depends on how things go. We got some things going on. Anyways, if you want to contact us, our email is, of course, realorphanmovie@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. That's The Orphan Movie. And on Facebook, of course, we have the news discussion group, which you can contact us through. The website, of course, is where the vlogs are, and another way of contacting us is through the website. The website, of course, is theorphanmovie.com. If you go to the contact page there, there's an email list you can sign up for, and we'll get things sent out randomly and sporadically. We don't have any particular schedule of things that we send out. But anyways, that'll wrap it up for this time around, and whenever we come back, we'll do part 2.